I don't know.
So the clubs basically do not need any associated weapon skill. But the thing is, this is, for example, the best club available. I think it's called the Killer Club. And if I just try to equip it, you'll see the difference between the best club and sort of a lower mid-tier sword. It's pretty obvious. So you don't want to be using
I don't
clubs
know.
basically at any point in the game. They just don't have enough damage and bonus to hit. So I have another teleporter here because there was a dead end as well. I'm gonna go ahead and heal. I just double tap R because muscle memory and I'm used to it. And as you can see, I used up 2 food and I got my health and mana back to full on all characters. I didn't get attacked, which is also always a possibility, especially in dungeons. But usually not usually, you always only get attacked by the monsters that are actually present in that area. For example, if I was ambushed right now when I was resting, I would have gotten attacked by, for example, snakes and spiders and bats. Or bats. I don't like vampire bats at all. And I get quite strong mobs this time. For example, the tiers of mobs for snakes go from Cobra to King Cobra to Queen Cobra, with the Queen Cobra being the strongest, and I'm getting a very high amount of like tier 2 and tier 3 mobs this time. Like, we've met a lot of vampire bats, there's a lot of giant bats, we met a lot of King Cobras this time. Usually you don't get these kind of monsters. And there we go, another Queen Cobra, like I was saying. It's pretty fascinating, to be honest. They do give me a bit more experience though, which, you know, I like, and, you know, hey, I don't have much of a problem, so I guess it's all fine in the end. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh my god, you just had to hit Zoltan, didn't you? It always happens. Oh, a potion bottle. Do you have anything useful? No, we don't, because we're missing the red herbs. So basically we can't make either, you know, health potions or cure poison potions. We have to be a bit careful because we ran out of cure poison potions, but we are basically at the end of the dungeon at this point, so I'm not too worried. I just hope they don't, you know, sort of either ambush us from somewhere or that I make a stupid decision and not run back, which is the more likely of the two, let's be honest. And another King Cobra, and we ran out of torchlight. So I just have to keep recasting this, because, you know, I like for the environment to be just a little bit brighter, and it's also easier for you guys to see. Gonna pick up these eggs, which I can basically bring to an NPC in Usorpigal, and he's going to give me money for them. Oh, that's great.
I don't know.
That is a good spear.
I don't know.
A hammer, a
don't know.
crossbow, a
I
helm,
don't know.
a ring. I don't know why I'm trying to identify them, because I don't have the identify item skill or the hireling. Nothing else in there. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention. If you remember how we drank the energy potion with Zoltan and the protection potions with Roderick and Alexis, they were all temporary effects, and now they're gone because I've rested. This is basically the difference between temporary and permanent. Permanent basically gives you the stat or whatever you whatever it gives you. It gives it to you forever. But temporary only lasts for up until you basically either rest or travel, things like that. I forgot to mention that. So if you have energy potions, try not to drink it and then rest, because you'll just waste the potion then. Especially in the beginning, the energy potions do come in handy though. I could actually just brew up some, but I think like it's going to be a waste if I do that, because I'm in the end of the dungeon, and I don't expect to be having too much trouble clearing out the final room. So there we go. Torchlight and Wizard Eye again. There's a Cobra corpse here, and we're basically in front of the last room, which also houses the Spider Queen as well. I'm just going to slowly inch forward and aggro, shoot in the darkness. The characters automatically shoot monsters, so now we won't be having a lot of spiders coming towards us. This wasn't optimal purely because now the spiders will get stuck on a ledge. Whoa! Oh, there we go, the queen spider. Oh, scared me. Okay, so I just pick her corpse up and I also get the heart. That is a grim trophy, I have to say. Let's just heal first. But as you can see, the spiders are now stuck on sort of a ledge. They won't be coming forward. I'm just gonna inch forward and see if there's any more spiders in it. Yeah, but this is the problem. Basically, if I go any closer, they're just gonna aggro me. There's a spider that's trying to run away from me in the distance. I just saw it on the minimap here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run straight into the room and then just try to kite them backwards. I'm gonna be taking some damage. Roderick is gonna get poisoned, of course. Oh, let me just move away. There we go. Come on. Okay, there we go. And then another one. The good thing is that no matter if the monsters are in darkness, your characters will automatically shoot them if you press A, which is good because it means that you don't have to, you know, actually aim at anybody. Roderick's poisoned, but luckily the poison doesn't mean that his health ticks off. Okay, what do we have here? We have a staff here. We have some gold coins. And we have a chest.
Got it.
Oh, nice. Nice. A strong trident. Can I? No, I don't think there's anything I can do.
I don't know.
I'm gonna put the crossbow into Zoltan's inventory. And then we have a white potion. Oh my god, and another trident. Now this is what I was talking about earlier, if you watched my my previous videos. Sometimes the loot generates, but not all of it is in a chest. That's why I always open chests twice. Now I already took this trident, but now another one has generated because, you know, the game generates items based on your inventory space, but the inventory space of a chest or a crate or anything that you're opening is not the same as your inventory. So sometimes the items don't actually get shown, and once you pick the items out of the chest, once you go back into them, sometimes there are items laying in them again. So I got two very good tridents, I got one very good spear, and I got one very good longsword, I got two helms, which is nice. I have stud leather armor, which I don't need. I would say it's pretty successful, and we basically finished the whole dungeon now. And we're going to go to a teleporter now, which will take us right to the beginning. And this is something I really like. Like when I was young, I never paid much attention to it, but the game, when you use that teleporter, it teleports you to the first room you get into when you enter the abandoned temple. And it actually, you know, it actually forces your characters to look up for a bit, if you noticed just now. Basically what we see here is sort of like a funeral for a queen, which is kind of awesome considering that the last room we were in, we actually killed the spider queen. Once I figured that out, I thought it was, you know, kind of neat. I was like, ah, game, I see what you did there. It was kind of good. Oh, what's the time now? It's 1 PM. Okay, good. So that means the shops will be open. I thought it was dusk already. First things first, we're gonna go to the monastery and get Roderick healed up. There we go. You know what? Let's just heal everybody. The monasteries can basically heal all your status ailments, poison, disease, stone, whatever it is. But you have to pay some money for them. I'm also donating some money to them because it ups my reputation, and I want to have as good as a reputation as possible for For actually achieving mastery in the light magic spells. It's kinda lame, the mechanic, to be honest, because for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to get, you know, how to stabilize basically my my reputation to be, let's say, saintly, which is needed to get the master level, the mastery level, not the master level. English easy. So yeah, I'm gonna be very careful not to, for example, hit or shoot any peasants, because that will lower my lower my reputation, and I'll also be very careful not to, for example, there we go, beg or threat or bribe anybody, because that also lowers your reputation. And I actually have absolutely no idea how to get the reputation back to saintly once, for example, you have a very negative reputation, because the donation to monasteries only works to a certain extent, and you have to donate to different monasteries to get your reputation up. So yeah, we're gonna have to be very careful about that. I'm just gonna go and talk to these NPCs, and hopefully we're going to find a scholar, which is actually the first hireling that I want to have, and a scholar is a hireling that I want to have at all times, because it's incredibly useful. It basically allows me to identify all items. It's a counselor, a navigator, a negotiator, an enchanter. It doesn't seem like there's a scholar here, a laborer, a teacher. The teachers are great as well. I'm not going to be hiring her because I would have to beg, threat, or bribe, and we've just gone through this. Did I already? Yeah, I already talked to. There are two more here. What are you? A noble and a cartographer. So no scholars here. You could actually just save the game and then reload it, and all the characters would have different, will basically have different jobs or whatever. Let me give you an example. So here we have the follower of Ba. I'm gonna save the game, and I'm gonna load the game. And there we go. Now she's a mystic, and I could just go through it again. I tend not to do that though, because there we go, a scholar. Oh, and I don't need to bribe or threaten him. Okay, so basically, I want him to join us, so I'm going to click join first, and then he's going to say I studied under Lord Newton in Mist for 8 years to learn to tell one magic item from another. I'll work for you for 500 gold to start, plus a 5% share of all the gold we find. Now, if that doesn't make any sense to you, you can click on more information, and it'll tell you exactly what the hireling does. Basically, he gives us unlimited item identification and a 5% bonus on all experience gained. And Brett takes 5% of all gold you find. 5% gold we find is actually not... Basically, it's not a lot at all. Because till about basically the end game, we're not going to be finding more than, for example, 500 to 1000 gold pieces in a single stack of coins, and you still get the full coin, you still get all the money from selling your items and everything, and that's going to be basically your main source of income for the game. So basically 5% of all gold you find for a 5% bonus on all experience gained and unlimited item identification makes the scholar basically the best hireling there is. I'm just gonna go ahead and hire him. And here's what he can do basically. All these items were unidentified. Now if basically I right click on them, they will automatically be identified. This is what this hireling does, and if you contrast the fact that I won't be having to waste money to identify these items, and that I will also be getting a 5% increase to all my experience points, you can see why this makes the hireling totally worth it, in spite of the 5% of all gold you find going to him. Now, the second hireling I usually get is an instructor, which increases the experience point gained by another 15%, I think. However, it's not necessary to find it, but I do think it's pretty much necessary to find a scholar, so I really suggest you having a scholar and a teacher or an instructor. A teacher basically does the same thing as an instructor, but he takes less gold, less gold from you and only gives you 10% bonus experience, I think. So what are we gonna do now? Okay, first things first, we have to equip these items. Now, I don't know whether I should take the Crusader Sword with him. Oh no, we're gonna take the Trident of Doom. This is an ornate trident and the enchantment it has is of Doom. It gives +1 to all 7 stats, HP, SP, armor and resistances. It's not a terribly strong enchantment, but at this point it's really useful because you have, you know, +1 to every stat, which is kind of good. And I don't think we'll be sacrificing that much damage. We actually have more maximum damage, but less chance to hit. And this Serpent Spear is actually worse than the Trident. And we're gonna give the Crusader Sword to her, which is a lot better than the Pirate Cutlass. It's better in all aspects. What do we have then? Are we gonna need the Serpent Sword? You have axes, right? You have axes. Yeah, you have axes and swords, and you have swords and spears. Now, I leveled up the sword, which is still good, because I want to get master ranking as fast as possible, so I can use the sword in my left hand. Because you can use spears in one hand or both hands, without having a certain mastery ranking in the skill. Do we have anything else we have to equip on anybody? No, we just have the helms. Oh, what is this? This is an ordinary ornate trident, which sounds weird. Let's see who has the least amount of armor class. So yeah, it's gonna be Alexis and Roderick to get the helms. So now I have 15 armor class, 16 armor class, 20 and 21. I like having it balanced so that the monsters don't basically bomb just one of your characters. But that's it, I think. Do you have any useful spells here? We have Haste. Haste is... you know what? I'm gonna keep it. Haste basically reduces your recovery time on all actions. Basically it means you attack much faster. Magic Arrow, why not? Poison Spray, why not? Protection from electricity, I'm not gonna be using that. Do you have any enchanted rings? A Sparkling Ring of Charm. You know what? Sure. It gives me 3 personality. I don't think it increased my spell points at all. So I'm gonna give it to Roderick, who needs personality as well. And it didn't increase his spell points at all. Okay, so I'm not gonna be using this because it's basically worthless, because the only thing that it would give me is 3 personality, which means it would give me some spell points on my cleric or my paladin, but it didn't give me any, so, you know, I'm not going to be using it. So I'm going to sell these rings, I'm going to sell the protection from electricity, and I'm going to sell the turquoise amulet. Now the thing with, you know, selling things is I could have kept them and then used a certain spell on them that is called Enchant Item, which basically enchants your items with, for example, electric resistance +4 and things like that. But we're not there yet, and well, we're not going to be for quite some time, to be honest. Once you get the enchant item, it's always good to enchant things first before you sell them, because it ups the value, so you basically increase your profit by doing that. Let me sell the armor now. So the armor smith.
Don't touch the merchandise.
Sell these items.
Come back.
The spears in this game actually go from the top to the bottom of your inventory, so it's kind of... I can't find the right word. It is kind of annoying, there we go, that sometimes you actually just need to, you know, you just need to move one herb to be able to fit a spear into your inventory like this. So I have a lot of blue herbs, I have a lot of yellow herbs, but I have no red herbs, so I'm just gonna pay a visit to... Oh no, it's already closed. There we go. Time in this game. For some reason the alchemists only work from like 8 to 4, while all other shops work from 6 to 6. It's weird. Okay, so we have one one red herb. I'm not even going to try and pronounce, you know, like the Widowweep's berries every single time I get them, because Poppy Snaps Inferno Root is easy, but Widowweep's berries is really weird to pronounce for me, since I'm not a native speaker. So we have some more herbs here. Oh, no, you have it? Oh yeah, there we go. Some Poppy Snaps. I'm just trying to stock up on herbs. I don't usually use potions that much, to be honest, but in the beginning it's kind of useful to have. For example, like if you have 4 energy potions and you give 1 to each character, the potions don't stack anyway. It will make your job a lot easier. I can't remember whether I picked up the herbs here. It has 2 of each. No, I didn't. There we go. So we have 2 blue herbs, we have 2 red herbs, and 2 yellow herbs. There we go. There's an island in the distance there, but we won't be going there just yet. The reason is because, whoops, there's basically a lot of tough mobs on there. There are Goblin Kings, Goblin Shamans, and Wizards, who are basically almost all ranged units. And the sort of swimming in this game will basically drain your hit points. Let me just demonstrate. So here I am trying to walk forward, and it basically doesn't let me because I don't have the water walking spell active on me, but I can still swim by, you know, jumping and then moving forward. It will, however, drain me of my hit points, and that's the reason that I don't want to swim to that island, to basically just get massacred by every single spellcaster there is. I'm gonna pick some more herbs up. And now, I don't know why we didn't do that sooner. We have to turn in the quests, of course, so there we go. And Mr. Bufford here wants the heart of the Spider Queen. And this is Mrs. Violet Dawson, or Miss Violet Dawson, who lost her baby. She actually just gave us 500 gold and 10 food, which is nice. And now we have enough experience points to level up to level 6 actually. So there's 2 levels per each, but it's closed because it's already 6:22 p.m. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sleep here. I could also have just rested in front of the instructor or training grounds.
How about some okay.
But I didn't wanna. Okay, so now I'm just gonna keep upping the sword skill with these 2, because like I said, I want to get to 7 as quick as possible. So I can basically have a sword in my left hand and then their primary, quote-unquote primary weapon in their right hand. So basically it's a spear for Roderick and an axe for Alexis. And I'm gonna give you a point and dagger and mace, and I'm going to start leveling up the body magic skill with you and the water magic skill with you. So there we go. This is how I'm going to start the game. I am going to wrap this up right now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time when we will be tackling the 2nd tutorial dungeon in the New Sorpogal region. Thanks for watching everybody, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!